Hello and welcome to another Nikke video. Ludmilla winterowner's kit has just been released and I'm going to discuss it. Please leave a like and a sub and I hope you enjoy the video. So let me go ahead and introduce her. This is Ludmilla winterowner. She's part of the Limited Squad. Her type is attacker, her weapon is machine gun, her burst skill is 3 and her code is water. Skill 1 is called the Queen's Gaze and it's a passive. Activates when landing 60 normal attacks, affects the target. Damage taken up 12.56% for 3 seconds. Deals 158.43% of final attack as additional damage. Activates when landing 60 normal attacks, affects self, reloads 20 rounds of ammunition. Alright, let's go ahead and just talk about her skill 1. Since she has 300 ammo, it's actually going to activate 5 times within that one reload, luckily. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first part here. For damage taken going up, it's not as much as somebody like Novels, where she increases damage taken tremendously, but it does provide a good amount for a total of 15 seconds after you count for all the shots landed. It's also going to provide an extra attack, so pretty much that's going to happen 5 times within that one reload. And please note, this is final attacks. This is after all the buffs and everything being applied to her. That's going to provide a tremendous damage. And not only that, looking at the second part of the skill 1, after all those 5 activations, pretty much she's going to have 100 ammo being added on as well on top of that, which will allow her to activate it one more time. So technically with that second part of skill 1, you'll be able to have it at least 6 times just without even any reload cubes or any overloaded gear. So it's going to have quite a bit of ammo even before any of the additional buffs. Next up is skill 2, Snowstorm, and it's also a passive. Activates when hitting the core for 60 times, affects the target. Deals 109.64% of final attack as additional damage. Activates at the beginning of full burst, affects self. Critical rate up 14.6% or 10 seconds. Alright, now we're going to look at the first part of skill 2 here. This will actually combine with skill 1, so if you're able to actually hit the core 60 times, not only is skill 2 going to become active, also skill 1 would also become active because skill 1 is only asking you to land 60 hits. But if you're actually able to also land 60 core hits at the same time, then pretty much skill 1 and skill 2 will become active. So you're actually able to deal 2 final attacks at once. So if you combine them both, it would actually be 268.07% as additional damage every 60 attacks. But of course, it really depends on the raptures because I know there are some raptures out there that are sometimes very difficult to hit the core. For example, somebody like the train. The train does have a core. Like for the first phase, it's very difficult for anybody who doesn't have pierced weapons to actually hit it, since the core is in the gigantic gun, and usually only those with pierce can actually hit it. There are other enemies that are more easier to hit, but for an example like train, yeah, it would be a little bit difficult to do those 60 core hits. And not only that, if we look at the second part of skill 2, this is a pretty nice change of pace. There's a lot of times for those skills, they would activate at the end of the burst. So as soon as the burst begins, regardless of who is bursting, this is automatically going to be applied to her. So she's almost going to have a little bit over 14% of crit rate going up for 10 seconds. This is going to help her out with even outputting more damage than she's already going to be doing as well. Not only will this help her deal more damage overall, this will also help out the additional damage of both skill 1 and skill 2. So she's also going to get a damage boost based on that critical rate up. Lastly, her burst skill, Guiding Lantern, has a 40-second cooldown. Affects self, attack up 62.54% for 10 seconds. Reloading speed up 67.2% for 20 seconds. Alright, now let's go ahead and take a look at the burst here. The attack up is really great. I mean, it gives you a tremendous boost for 10 seconds there. And not only that, her reloading speed as well. It's very, very fast reloading speed. The only downside is that since she has 300 ammo, and depending on how much ammo you give her with the cube or with overloaded gear, she's not really going to take full advantage of that reloading speed, since most likely based on how long she's going to attack, it might be only used once, if at all. But luckily the attack up will always be used, so luckily also be affecting both first parts of skill 1 and skill 2. So that's actually going to help tremendously with an additional damage. Now for my final thoughts. Most of her kit is selfish, unfortunately. Most of it's just going to be only affecting herself. There are a few skills that actually affect the target as well, but in terms of the overall team, yeah, a majority of it's just going to happen just to Ludmilla herself. And also keep in mind with machine guns, with the burst generation, a lot of times with machine guns, they do not have really good burst generation. The only one that really has an outstanding burst generation, even a better reload, would be example MODERNIA. One reason is because she's a pilgrim, And number 2 is because she is so cute. Either way, with her skill 1 allowing for an ammo refund automatically without even having a cube or anything else on her is really great as well. If you're able to add like an ammo cube, for example like a Bastion or a Wingman, and also have some overloaded gear on her that actually has more max ammo, not only are you able to shoot longer, but thanks to the ammo refund, that is going to become active more times. For Nikkes who might be really good to be paired up with her might be the bunnies, because they provide a lot of benefits to Ludmilla here since she's a machine gun. For example, Noir, she could automatically reload almost 40% of the magazine. She's going to have about a little over 14% attack up. Not only that, her hit rate's going to go up, and then also she's going to have more damage taken thanks to Blanc there. Another possible option is going to be the schoolgirls as well, Naga and Tia, because they do provide some attack up, and not only that, the damage dealt when attacking core also goes up, which will benefit Princess Ludmilla tremendously thanks to her skill 2 there. In terms of who is the best between them, of course we would have to do some tests, so we would have to actually wait for the unit to be out to fully test them out to see which Nikkes are actually paired up with them. And in terms of her burst as well, I mean, she gets a tremendous attack boost as well. It is unfortunately the reload speed, especially once you have a lot of overloaded gear and some cubes attached to her. I don't know how often she's actually going to reload, since you could actually attack for quite a while once you have a lot of ammo on the Nikke. But luckily the attack up will always be applied, so this is going to be applied for the whole duration. And luckily a lot of her skills have final attack, which is going to really benefit her tremendously if she keeps getting other Nikkes to apply more buffs to her as well. Now, how well is she going to be for an actual unit? I think she's going to be extremely good based on her kit here. She can provide so much attack, and looks like she's going to be used a little bit more for bosses and actually for regular stages. Since the majority of her kit only affects one target, it's probably going to be best used for bosses. So she's going to be used a lot in solo raid and union raid. In terms of other content, she could also be used for other content as well, but she won't be as useful in there since a lot of the stages, especially for campaign, you have a lot of little tiny enemies popping up, and unfortunately she's not going to be that beneficial for those stages there. But for any boss stage, solo raid, or union raid for example, she's going to help out tremendously since she will able to output so much damage thanks to not only her normal attacks but also the additional attacks that's going to be happening every single time as well. And in terms of she's worthy of a pull, I would say she is very worthy of a pull. The way I see it is you're going to see her a lot in union raid and solo raid as well. In terms of she's going to be a meta unit or not, it's going to be really dependent on how much burst generation she has. Since how I just said earlier, Modernia is one of the very rare machine guns that actually has a very good burst generation for weapon type, where majority of the machine guns do not have good burst generation. They're extremely slow. So of course, as soon as she goes out, we can do some testing and fully confirm that. But based on what I'm seeing with her kit here, yes, I would say she is worth the pull, especially if you want to do better in solo raid and union raid. Alright, that's about it. Hopefully you're excited for this new unit here. She looks incredibly lovely, and also her kit will help tremendously with bosses as well. But please, I would like to know your thoughts. Are you actually going to be pulling on this unit too? Were you going to pull on this unit before you saw the kit, and now that the kit is released, does that make you even more eager to go ahead and pull her? Do you feel that her kit maybe should have been a little bit different? I would really like to know. Alright, hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'm Scrublord, and I'll see you in the next one.